The other position that has changed is for Frank Gashumba. Now, Frank Gashumba had come earlier to proclaim himself as, I'm not sure if he was the speaker or the chairman or the president of the Banyarwanda community in Uganda, Council of Banyarwanda in Uganda. Now, he announced that they will be changing their name, and he also signed on it from Banyarwanda to Bavandimwe, which will be their new name. However, the Banyarwandas in Masaka have come out to say we're not agreeing with Frank Gashumba and we're not changing our names, and this is sheer publicity, and we are not denied national IDs, and there's nothing that is happening to us, and Frank Gashumba is looking for publicity. Adam, what do you make of that?
There's some kind of controversy, and Latif, it's very hard to change a name. Just like saying now, we Bagandas, now we are going to change a name because we're being discriminated. Does it really change the idea, the whole point that, because being Bavandimwe, according to the Kinyarwanda language, it means, brothers. Muvandimwe is, that kind of your sister or a brother. So they want to distance themselves from, having a name of a certain country to theirs, because it was put in the constitution 1995 that Banyarandas are part of Uganda. It's a tribe. Though some of the sections of Ugandans refuse to, to accept that, and you see social media, they write Banyarwanda, Bichibichi and all that, they vilify them. So I think this is the problem, but the problem is not about changing the name.
But aside from the name, the Banyarwandas in Masaka are saying that they're not even being vilified. Because one of the reasons that Frank Gashumba and the group gave for changing the name and also saying that they want to be proclaimed as a tribe in Uganda is because they said they're being denied jobs in public offices. When they're among people, there's stigmatization towards being a Munyarwanda in Uganda. And they're saying, but we're not Banyarwanda. It's like Latifa Hamid, for example, being born from a coastal tribe of someone from Kenya and someone from Uganda. Does that make me a Kenyan? No, it doesn't. And that was his argument. We are Ugandans by tribe, and our forefathers have been in Uganda for a longest time. And you cannot deny that. There's a border between Uganda and Rwanda, and that means people easily move by foot. Although recently we had an issue where people were being shot to death when they were going to the Rwandan border on foot. That issue was also there, and security was trying to deal with it. But he says that they're being stigmatized. And people in Masaka are saying, no, he's lying. We're not being stigmatized. We are okay. So where is the truth in this?
Tifa, according to me as a journalist, and according to things I know, I can't rule out the issue of being stigmatized. I can't rule out that issue. The issue of national IDs, passports, I can't really confirm to that. Because in Uganda is a land of opportunity, Latif. It's where Sudanese come and get passports. It's where, people come in. It's a land of opportunity. It's where people, do whatever they want. But the issue of being stigmatized, Latif, I can't rule out. You remember the riots that sparked off November 18th, and, people are spreading a lot of hate speeches on social media, Banyarwanda. It's on record. It has been there. I can't really, say whatever they were saying. I can't really re-echo, but it was there, and it's on record. So there's that kind of problem. They see them as, people that don't belong to Uganda. These are people, during the 1994, the Rwandan genocide, a lot of Rwandans came to Uganda, even before, because they have had genocides before, even the 1994, which was, so publicized and people know it so much. Banyarwandas have been, into Uganda so much. They have been brothers, they have been sisters, mothers, they are uncles, they're everything. So there is a problem in Uganda of, that kind of diversity. People don't want something that doesn't look like them, something that doesn't really relate to them. And Latifa, Banyarwanda have a very big community in Uganda. When they came from Rwanda during the 1994, they came to and settled in Masaka in some areas. And the people on the border even speak the same language as Banyarwanda. So I think the problem is just accepting that Banyarwanda is a tribe. And Frank Gashumba's argument is, this word really looks, when you say Banyarwanda, it means like someone is coming from Rwanda, probably they grew up in Rwanda, and then they came to Uganda. They are foreigners. So what he was trying to do is to change a name. When you hear Bavandimwe, it means this is a Rwandan who was born in Uganda, so they have all rights. But when I hear a word Munyarwanda, I want to really know that this person really is coming from Rwanda. Is it the person coming from Rwanda, or it's the person that is in Uganda? So that's the problem.
But making themselves Bavandimwe is also a totally unique title in Uganda, and that makes them more foreign than even Banyarwanda does. Because what is Bavandimwe? And how will Ugandans understand that Bavandimwe is part of a tribal group that is in Uganda? It reminds me of the Indians who are saying that we need to register them as a tribe in Uganda, and they want to be called Bayindi. It still doesn't make sense.
Bayindi. Yeah, when you hear Bayindi, it means someone has just flown in. Is a Muyindi. I want to know. So that is the problem, and that is why probably some of them are discriminated.
But again, the question comes in, what happens to the Indians who are born in Uganda from Ugandan mothers and Indian fathers, or from Ugandan fathers and Indian mothers? It rarely happens, but it still happens. So how do we call those people? They are Ugandans by birth, for real. And that is what I'm saying. When we look at the Banyarwanda, they are Ugandans by birth. And when you go and register, you're either a Ugandan by tribe, or you are Ugandan by birth. Now, if your father was an Indian and your mother is a Ugandan, then you're Ugandan by birth because you were born in Uganda. But then, if I'm Latifa Hamid and I'm a Nubian, Nubians also had the same issue when we were trying to register the tribe called Nubians. We had the same issue. They were like, no, Nubians are not part of the Ugandan tribe. Yes, we are not, because we migrated into Uganda during the Idi Amin time. We came in and we helped Idi Amin fight during his wars. But here's the thing, we have been here for a while. And because of that, we gave birth to children with tribes in Uganda. So we are citizens of Uganda by birth until after it was incorporated in the Ugandan constitution that Nubians will be a tribe in Uganda. And that is what Banyarwandas are trying to do.
And this is the case, Latif. It's not about now this person has been born in Uganda and then they have rights because of birth. It's not even the case. This is a tribe according to the constitution of Uganda. So people shouldn't discriminate them because it is a tribe.
But that's what I'm saying, because that's why we looked at the Nubian history. It was the same thing, because we were Nubians because we came into Uganda. Same thing with Banyarwanda. Because the border is closed, they came into Uganda. But there are two things here. A Muganda or any other tribe in Uganda who gave birth to the Munyarwanda to have a baby. Now that baby is both Rwandese and Ugandan. Now they need to choose a citizenship. And this is where in Uganda they were trying to introduce the concept of dual citizenship, where you can be both a US citizen and also a Ugandan citizen. Because you may have stayed in the US for a very long time and you get the citizenship, but then you also are Ugandan. Is that going to deny me the right to be a Ugandan? Or your mother went to the US and then gave birth with someone who is from there, a white person who is an original US citizen. So are you going to deny me my Ugandan citizen?
So Latifa, the argument here is about a name.
The name does not help.
And Bavandimwe. So these people are hoping a name can change the whole idea of people knowing that probably this is a tribe, and this, when you hear Bavandimwe, you understand these are the Banyarandas that, you know, were born in Uganda. So when I hear Munyarwanda, I will know they are coming from Rwanda, and people know.
Are you sure that Bavandimwe makes it sound like a Munyarwanda?
No, I'm not saying it should, but the whole idea they are bringing.
That's the whole idea,
Yes.
but does the idea work is the question. Because Adam, look at the situation. You're naming yourself Bavandimwe, something that Ugandans have never had. At least we've heard of Banyarwanda. But Bavandimwe is something that we've not had, and it is a Kinyarwanda word.
We have the Bafumbira on the border of Uganda and Rwanda, and they speak the same language. They speak Rwandese.
But that's there. We're talking about people who are all over the country. We're not going to have Bafumbira tell us what Bavandimwe means. And it's going to sound like a foreign word that we don't understand. Which means we're going to look at them as foreign people once again and say, Bavandimwe.
And so what should we do about it?
I think the name Banyarwanda needs to stay. There only has to be sensitization. Everything comes with stigma. HIV/AIDS came with stigma. Whoever had HIV/AIDS, they used to stigmatize them, and there's a time when people wouldn't understand the concept of HIV, that if Adam, you drank in a cup and you are positive, I wouldn't drink in the cup. I wouldn't sit on the same chair with you. But constant, consistent education in telling people, we are your people. This is who we are.
Well,
we are
Latifa,
from Uganda. Then people will change
Latifa,
how they think.
You know, by default, people really don't, people fear what they don't know. People who, you know, people are coming from far. So how will people
Adam,
know, Latifa,
Adam,
my
the
point,
Nubians
I'm making
have
my
been
point.
incorporated.
How will these people know this is a foreigner? People will always, they will not always be okay to a foreigner, Latifa. And that is by default.
But changing
Go
the
to
name
Rwanda,
doesn't
you're
help.
Ugandan.
I'll repeat, changing the name doesn't help. What?
But it will still be Banyarwanda.
In your passport, you're going to have Bavandimwe. It's too foreign.
No.
Stay
No,
in Banyarwanda. Listen, they're
is,
not the only tribe in Uganda that are being segregated against.
But
no.
at least
the Nubians,
their point is valid,
the
Latifa.
Nubians have been segregated up against. Did we change our names? No, but we're living in harmony with other tribes. Tell me Gashumba is being segregated upon. With all the chances that he has gotten, with all the wealth that he has amassed.
He's heading an association where there are a lot of people that bring grievances to him. And that is his argument. Now, you know, the saddest part of this story, Latifa, is these people are saying, when Ugandans say now you are Munyarwanda, and you know, you grow up in Rwanda, I mean in Uganda, and you really feel you're Ugandan, and someone tells you you're not a Ugandan. So what happens?
Then tell them my father is a Ugandan and my mother is a, like I said, sensitization.
Latifa, this is what they do. What they do, they go to Rwanda. You know, this is my country. They tell me this is my country. When they go to Rwanda, they are still discriminated against.
I know, and it has happened to black Americans before. And I'm telling you, there's so many tribes. I'll repeat, there's so many tribes that have gone through this. The Banyarwanda are not unique in their problem. And that's why when the people in Masaka are saying this seems to be a political play, you look at it and you're like...
But you know why this issue is so, you know, current? Like, because now the Banyarwanda is associated with the government. You know, a lot of people say the president, what, and
just
you know,
like
those kind of stories.
Just like the Westerners.
So that is why this thing is fueled.
Just like the Westerners are associated with the government. So are you telling me that the Westerners also need to come up and change their name? See, it's a concept of looking at things in the right way, foreigners or not. It's the concept of looking at things the right way.
Unlike, you know, the Nubians, no one wants, you know...
I don't believe that there's anything that the Banyarwanda have gone through that... Because here's the thing. Like I said earlier, when HIV/AIDS came, I'll repeat it because you're making me repeat my statements. When HIV came, there was stigmatization, but there was education. Although there's still stigmatization, there's still education. Why doesn't Gashumba instead? Create a session where he usually comes on TVs and radios to teach people about the Banyarwanda? People don't have to love you, Adam. People just have to live in harmony with you. And what is living in harmony with you? You're doing the same jobs. You're getting a passport. You're getting a national ID. And when you don't get that, you have a place to go to report that. Banyarwandans have taken positions in offices in Uganda. So this fall cry is like a kid knocking their foot on the wall and then coming to say, oh my God, it hurts so much.
I think it is a very big problem, Latifa. They see them as foreigners. If they have a public office and you're a Munyarwanda, man, they're taking up things.
If you have a public office and you're a Westerner, people also say the same.
You're a Westerner, you're Ugandan.
People still say the same.
They will always say it, and it always...
it
won't make sense. Because when they say it won't make sense. They say, you know, Westerners are in every office, you know, they're here, they're there, but it doesn't make sense. But Rwandans, when someone hears that, and you also don't have a sense of belonging, Latifa.
So it makes sense for people to say Westerners are seated in office and they're taking all our things, which is not right, ladies and gentlemen. It is okay, but it's not okay for you to say the same word to a Munyarwanda. Like I said, it is a baby's cry.
Because Munyarwanda is coming from outside.
No, they're not coming from outside.
And you know why those tribal sentiments came in when, you know, the riot sparked off? You know why? It's politicized. It's politicized, so they are saying the things I don't want to mention.
Why I am refusing to agree with you, and I will still refuse to agree with you on TV, is that the Westerners have been treated the same way in Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, this discussion that we are having is whether the Banyarwanda have the right to come up and change their name and think it's going to be better. I actually think it's going to be worse for them. Now, the Westerners are being passed through the same station by some some Ugandans, and we're not saying all Ugandans behave the same, but it's changing the name the right way. Now, if Banyarwanda come out on TV and cry foul, why haven't I seen Westerners come out on TV and cry foul?
Because
they are already showing that they are a special category. And the moment you take yourself as the special category, there's going to be a problem.
It is known. It doesn't even need sensitization. That if everyone knows it. People have lived with Banyarwanda, they have had kids with them, they know. Now, so if it is about sensitization, what about the Westerners? Why are they having the same problem?
But that's what I'm telling you.
Yes.
It's like a mother has the firstborn, secondborn, and thirdborn, and Banyarwandas in this country
so if a man raises,
the Banyarwandas are the lastborns, and they're behaving like the lastborns.
Have you had any, complaints about Westerners saying we don't have passports? We are discriminated against in this kind of situation, and they're Ugandans, and they're going to live with us because they are Ugandans.
But that's what I am saying. Here's the thing. When I went into the passport office, and when I repeated, okay, sooner or later I'm going to have to take a break because you're making me repeat myself. But when I say that we Nubians go through the same thing, you don't believe me. Here's the thing. When I went into the passport office to get my passport, they asked me, what tribe are you? I told them I'm a Nubian. And they told me there's no tribe called Nubian in Uganda. I told them, check your constitution. Because I know my right. Check your constitution. There's a tribe called Nubian in Uganda. And where do you originate from? I'm like, there are Nubians in Arua, there are Nubians in Bombo, but I'm a Nubian from Arua. And they felt to understand. Do you know how long it took me to get that passport? My brothers are mixed. They look more mixed than I am. They look more of Somalis and Chotaras, and they're telling them, what tribe are you? Or we are Banyoros. Or can you speak the language? Yes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, let me call someone to speak the language with you. You speak Nubian, and Nubian is in the constitution. Yes, let me call someone to speak it with you. And then they gave me this pass. It's about knowing your right as an individual and not making your fight a national fight. Everybody is going through these issues. But we, the Nubians, I don't care what political situation is going on. We have not cried out for help. We have not cried out for help in the public. Cried out for help. They have, because they're acting like lastborns. They can deal with their issues. They can deal with their issues, is what I'm saying. And I'll repeat it.
You know, this thing came up during the November 18th. Because people were on social media saying, Banyarwanda, let's do this, let's attack them, let's do this. You know, it is worrying.
Westerners were being attacked in town.
Yes. And
Westerners were being attacked in town.
You know, the difference is, these people are saying these are Banyarandas, and what does it mean? Go back to your country. So Westerners are Westerners, where are they going to go? You will discriminate someone until they will stay. At
the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, one, Banyarandas are not going anywhere. They are Ugandans and they will stay Ugandans, but they need to stop changing names because it's not going to help them. All they need to do is keep consistent in making sure that they inform people about who they are. See, when they say, Latifa, you're not a Ugandan, for example, I'll tell them, look, my mom is from Rwanda, but my dad is a Ugandan. That makes me a Ugandan. It's about explaining yourself and not being trivial enough to want to change a name, which will make you look more foreign than you are looking. But again, I will repeat it right here when I'm seated on STV. We at STV condemn the fact that there's tribalistic tendencies in the country. See, a country that is united grows faster. But a country that is not united falls apart. Banyarwanda have been with us since 1977. And besides, whether you want it or not, they're going to cross the border, and you are the same people that are going to get them pregnant. They're going to cross the border, and you are the same people that are going to fall in love with you, and they will get you pregnant. And we're going to have kids who are both Banyarwanda and Ugandans, but because there is a border, then you have to understand and accept that they're part of Ugandans, that all the other tribes that were not originally Ugandans are going to be part of this country, and we need to embrace the diversity.
About, Latifa, I'm sorry to take you back. You're speaking about tribes and how we can live in harmony. So what about someone who comes from another country?
We still have to live in harmony. Why I'm concentrating on this is because of the topic that we're dealing with. But definitely it has to be a harmony.
Yeah, and I understand. I don't really accept the idea that they should change the name. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I'm just trying to understand where they're coming from. They just want to distance themselves from the Rwandans that are Rwandans. Okay, these are Ugandans, but then the name really resembles the name of another country. So this is why people are discriminating them. Well, when they hear Latifa, you're a Nubian. Nubians are from Tanzania.
No, we're not from Tanzania.
Kenya?
No, we're not from Kenya either.
Where did
Our
you come
lineage
from?
is different from that. Please continue with your submission.
Now I want to understand that. As an
We're talking
example.
about Banyarwanda at this moment.
Okay, so I want to, understand from you. So these Ugandans are getting problems of understanding, is this person coming from Rwanda or they are born here? So what rights do they have? They're going to see a person lining up for a national ID, they're speaking Kinyarwanda, and they are going to be, perplexed. This person might be coming from Rwanda. They have already said it. People are coming from Rwanda, they're getting national IDs and all that. And, it arouses, a lot of feelings like, Ugandans, who are we? People are coming from abroad and then they are coming and, they are taking our things. This is the problem, Latifa. We should be addressing. So, I don't know how, but, we are all the same people. Rwandans are going to be Rwandans. They're not going to go anywhere because we have a number of them in Uganda, Latifa. They have a very, very big population and they are not okay to be in Rwanda because some of them don't even speak the language. And some of them, the kind of language they speak, the accent, can be heard in Rwanda that it's not their accent. So they are discriminated against. These are from Ugandans. So they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to stay on the border. So they are supposed to be Ugandans.
Well, thank you for your submission, Adam Mayamba. Now we'll take a break and then we'll see the global exploration about oranges by Karo Tumwina. Stay with us.